that are happening.
I can tell you now that this weekend on SABC Sport, because our promise to deliver football across the continent and the world has been delivered this season. I mean, we've been giving you CAF football. We've been giving you the Bundesliga, the EPL, the Premier League, women's football, which is exclusive to SABC Sport. This weekend, come this Saturday, it's going to be quite a scene, a quadruple header. On SABC 1, it's PSL match, Kaizer Chiefs versus Cape Town City. That's at 3 p.m. On SABC 2, it's the CAF Champions League semi-final, Sundowns versus Wydad Casablanca. At 3 p.m. on SABC 3, it's the Premier League, which is English football, Liverpool versus Aston Villa. At 4 p.m., that one kicks off. And finally, in the Bundesliga, we've got Bayern Munich and RB Leipzig that goes live at 6:30 on SABC Sport Channel as well. So all of those matches you can watch. And of course, as far as the PSL, that last game is concerned, Chiefs might be the main match, but we will be giving you multi-screens as we cut to all the other matches and watch the action, particularly the two bottom teams, to see what happens there. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we move on to other news as well. And we're going to be looking at the PSL news. And also, Patrice Motsepe said something that had a lot of people saying, with this kind of talk, and other chairmen or presidents or owners can't say the same thing, Sundowns are still going to dominate for a very long time. Let's take a break.
We don't play games. We wrote the game. Metro FM. It's where you're at. This is Sport Night Amplified with Undile.
Duduzane Zuma is my guest. The first time you stepped into a ring, put some gloves on. Do you remember it?
We've all done the non-serious stuff on the outside at home with friends, but the first time...
Well, not we all. I've never been in a fight. Have to protect the goods.
We all have, we all have at some point.
I remember a video of interactions between you and your dad, and it would always start off in a friendly banter of almost shadow sparring.
Yeah.
I've often wondered, why that? Not a high five.
From his side, and I mean, he's always had a fighting spirit. Even if it's not physically, just his mind frame. He's always had his hands up protecting himself till this day. He's always said to us that the day that he passes on touchwood, he says, bury me with my shield and my spear, because where I'm going to, I know this cat's waiting, Chief, and I'm going to carry this fight.
Weekdays, 6 till 7 p.m. on Metro FM.
Opta Jabu's finally joined us on the line. It was a bit difficult connecting today. Opta, thanks so much for joining us. Talk to me. Tomorrow is a big game for South African football. You heard Farouk Adodia saying it's a matter between poverty and 70 million bucks. Give me some of the permutations and some of the facts and stats that come from those two matches tomorrow that are so big.
Thanks, Angela. Good evening to you and all the Metro FM listeners. It is a big weekend indeed tomorrow. It is the culmination of a big season. Some of the stats we have here are around Chippa United, who have already conceded more goals than any other side this season, and that is 44. Also, their record at the end of the season is not bad, actually. They've played 9 games on the final day, won 4, drew 3, and lost only 2. So they have a pretty strong record when it comes to the final day.
That's a good record, that, because if they're able to keep up with that record, then they stay. What else do you have?
It is a good omen indeed. The other thing we have is about Marumo Gallants, obviously, who are also fighting relegation. Since Dylan Kerr joined, he has a history of being the man, cometh the hour, cometh the man. That's what we said. 2018-19 helped Leopards avoid relegation, then Baroka, then TTM, then Swallows, and now he's also joined Marumo in 16th position, and will be hoping to help them avoid relegation. Since he started his consultancy, Marumo have only lost once in the league, played 9 games, won 3, drew 5 with a single defeat.
Yeah, no. So these things don't favor Maritzburg United much. Thank you very much. Appreciate it there. Coming from Opta Jabu that day. You can follow him on Twitter, of course, for all those stats. Like I said, I'll repeat it towards the end again and let you know all the games that you can watch on the SABC this weekend. Trust me, it's been chilly. It's even cold here in Durban. It's one of those weekends when you want to stay in and catch up with all the football. This is what Dr. Patrice Motsepe had to say. A little bit earlier this week, he was speaking, and I'm not sure if this was just off the cuff. He was making a bit of a chuckle and a joke, but have a listen to what President Patrice Motsepe said on paying better salaries.
compete are also paid better than any other players in Africa. And we've said if we can't pay them more, we must encourage them to go and get more money. But I don't think Percy Tau is getting more money where he is. Now I must remember, I'm the president of CAF, so I love Percy and I'm happy where he is. And they must keep paying him lots of money.
Mkwanza, so the outrage here is, this is Sundowns' attitude. And Dr. Patrice Motsepe, the president of CAF, even when he was still at Sundowns, has always maintained that players should get paid what he thinks is worthy, and that's a lot of money. And that's what happens overseas, and he wants to compete at that level. If this is the attitude of Sundowns, which is nothing wrong with it, but what does that mean for local football and the competition here?
It means the intensify. Number one, we have now equality of Champions League. No chance. There is no way that you can get quality in the League. And that means, lay pega straight back to my player. Good day, performance, because in order to think Tolum grand, I need to perform at the highest level and be in an environment that will also improve on the lifestyle in terms of Isaga. And
but say it, Mkonza, not be in an environment, be at Sundowns.
Yeah, being at
why are you going around it?
And that is why with my player Paya, benchmark is to go at Mamelodi Sundowns because Paya's imdabulo nesaga grand. So I think for me now, equality you have to pay for one dealer. There's no two ways about it. Equality you have out here.
But this is not the attitude, Pro, of most of the clubs, So then I wonder, what does this mean for competitive football in South Africa for a while to come?
Well, it depends on what the team focusing on. There are teams that are focusing on a championship with Andile, and there are teams that are focusing on maintaining his status with PSL, and there are teams that are focusing on developing players and selling those players to big teams. So for me, I don't think a team like Golden Arrow should be jealous or should feel like they are disrespected when President Motsepe is making such statements. I think for Bona is to produce players and sell them to those teams and then continue to make more money. For me, Sundowns wants to compete with Al Ahly, want to compete with Wydad, want to compete with the Esperances of this world. They want to be regular Quick Club World Cup. Let them pay a lot of money that they want to pay, and as long as Leo Malileo at the end of the day helps the Sundowns to reach the levels that they want to reach, I don't think there's a problem. And perhaps I'm a team that consider themselves as big teams, maybe Nabo they will really want to dream big and they use the sponsorship money that they get and start buying a lot of players. Currently we're looking at Iparet as number 2. They've got 19 points gap. Chiefs at number 4, 26 points gap. That's a lot, 26 million. 26 points will be a million, so they need 26 million to close that gap. I'm just making it out of my mind, but for me, I think they need to pump in money, get in a lot of players, and then start challenging Sundowns to that level, so that e-brand can not only be recognized for the merchandise they sell, but can be recognized for the football on the field of play and the trophies that they win every season.
I can't wait to hear more chairmen and presidents, beating their chest about how they've enriched the players. I think it's going to be a beautiful day, the day that does happen. Nadeem, while we're still on Sundowns, let me come to you with their game against Wydad. We saw them last weekend against Wydad Casablanca there. And I don't know what you made of that game, but Wydad didn't scare me when I watched that game. I thought to myself, are they having a bad day? Are they having an off day? What do you make of the semi-final this weekend?
Yeah, it's one of those good finals for Sundowns. I think they have a very good chance because they are strong at home. Since 2008, they've only lost twice at home in the CAF Champions League. That's how strong they are, Mamelodi Sundowns. I think going to Loftus, it's where they've done well even this season. They're unbeaten. I honestly think Wydad are no longer the same side that won the CAF Champions League last season, which gives Sundowns a slightly edge over them because of home ground advantage. Not forgetting that if it's a draw because of the away goal rule, it can really affect Sundowns. But it looks like Sundowns will win that match because of how they've been playing at home and how they played away. Even those red cards. Definitely tomorrow, I'm not expecting Sundowns to get 2 red cards because they're playing at home. That's where you feel like they might have a chance to actually, with their support at home, with that they are not bad travelers. They even lost their last away match against Simba. Sure, away in Morocco, that's where they won. And then they come to the stage. But I don't actually feel they have that kind of a squad to scare Sundowns that much. Because Sundowns scored that goal, Shaulile. If it was just in my slightly offside, Sundowns is a team that was actually look more dangerous in terms of scoring than Wydad. I honestly agree with you that they are not scary enough the way that we thought. Maybe it's a team that can actually, the team that now Sundowns can be scared of is Al Ali, not Wydad.
Mina Andy, ngithi 9 men frustrated Wydad. If you watch the last week's match. And obviously, Sundowns are not really banking on home ground advantage or 11 matches unbeaten at home. Sundowns, they're relying so much on application and consistency and their quality to help them or influence their results tomorrow. So what has happened last week, it's gone. Sundowns are focusing on what's going to happen tomorrow. So I believe that this is a team that, for me, they've got quality to advance. They've got quality, obviously, to influence the outcome of the game. And obviously, we're backing Sundowns. I mean, we ask, you reap what you sow, Andile. If we invest kahle, hayi lalela uzoyivuna uyitshalile awuthiyami.
Pro.
The only thing that can give Sundowns problems tomorrow is anxiety, and I know that
anxiety.
You know, but Andile, when you are so eager to get into a final, and you know that with last season when they lost against the Petro Atletico, with Anel Lape FNB Stadium, the players were crying and they were so hurt and disappointed that they didn't make it through. But this time around, I know is about that element. Last time we had an opportunity and we couldn't even get the local that we wanted to get into the next stage of the competition. And I know Coach Rolani is a very, very sober-minded coach. Coach Mangoba Mngeti is a sober-minded coach. Coach Steve Kompela will be there to calm those nerves. But the players themselves, I do have that feeling. The longer they take to get a goal, the more frustrated they are going to be, and that element of anxiety and they want to score as many goals as possible. It might be a problem for Sundowns, but I just hope and pray that Coach Rolani will motivate the boys enough for which they come as soon as they step on that field and they control the tempo of the game, same way like they apply themselves against Belzadette, because they were so calm on the ball. They knew what they wanted to do. They increased the pace at the right moment. That is why they managed to get a goal that they needed to get in order to progress to the next round. So I know the Sundowns boys are going to get into the final tomorrow, and we wish them all the best of luck, because Sundowns in South Africa, they really need this CAF Champions League.
086 0002160. WhatsApp on 060 We hand over now to you. Remember, tomorrow we're going to be giving you so many games on the SABC platform, and we ask that you be with us for the whole day. It's a quadruple header of live football in action on SABC 1. PSL match, Kaizer Chiefs versus Cape Town City, plus split screens of goal watches as the matches continue all at the same time. SABC 2, it's a CAF Champions League semi-final. Mamelodi Sundowns versus Wydad Casablanca. And of course, on SABC 3, it's the English Premier League. Liverpool take on Aston Villa. Bundesliga match, Bayern Munich versus RB Leipzig. That is at 6:30 on SABC Sport Channel. Taking your calls now. I'd love to hear from you. Let's start with Usinong out in Ruston. But hold on, before we go there, Opta Chabo, I nearly skipped you because you weren't there at the beginning. You messed up my flow, man. Opta, talk to me about CAF and Sundowns. Yeah, no, today Opta is not feeling our story. All right. We'll see Opta next week again. Hopefully, we'll get a better line there. Let's go to Sinong out in Rustenburg. Wants to weigh in on the conversation. The guys are here. Sinong.
Hey, how's it, Daniel?
Yeah, man.
Hello.
Easy. Go for it.
Yeah, I'm cool.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I'd like to comment about the comments that Mr. Matepe made. I'm afraid, man, even if he makes some very good, I want to be competitive, but it's going to turn our league into a farmers league, man. It's going to be like Bundesliga, League One. You see, now it's just going to be a one-horse race now. On their side, yes, it's best.
But my question to that, Sinong, is instead of, because it feels like people are saying if Sundowns pay so much and they do so well, then it's going to be a farmers league. Why are we trying to dim the light on Sundowns and not trying to get the other teams to light up as much as Sundowns?
But you can see now our teams are struggling to get even a title sponsor, and you see we are struggling. You see teams are selling statuses left and right, which means it's proven that it's very expensive to run a PSL team. See now. But on the Sundowns level, it's best for them now because they want to compete with the best. But on our side, it's going to be a very big challenge. It's going to be a big blow on our league. That's how I see it.
All right, Sinong, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Like I said, I mean, a lot of people heard that comment differently. Let's go to Lisibe. Lisibe is out in Eguruleni. They don't want to take him last today. Lisibe. Okay, Jimmy Macau. Jimmy, Ditsang.
Jimmy.
Hey, awuthaka umnati.
Spiwe, number one, does Asa go one-on-one session players?
What do you mean, Jimmy?
Okay.
The question, Asa go one-on-one, the player, one-on-one session. Because Santi, you want to have player in the post. We go banking like Nala, why your man? As a leader, and you must stay with the child. We want some mistake, you want to do for stock sheets or my son, stock sheets as he is Simon, Mara. Or suddenly already mistake. As a leader, on Kalwana. So,
yeah, I think Jimmy, I was talking to Nadim offline. Hore. One thing what is key that Ata needs to develop is emotional intelligence. The reasoning and the feeling, because when you lose a dressing room because the players are grumpy, they don't want to play for you, you're not going to win any matches. You need to understand the football dynamics. So one thing that I've played with Arthur, I understand Arthur, but the one thing that I know about him, he needs to have that emotional intelligence, because when you're dealing with different characters in a dressing room, you need to understand Andilo Zhuang, Nadimu Zhuang, Propilano Zhuang, Opta Chabu Zhuang. So not all of us will be treated the same. Yes, tactically we'll discuss tactics holistically as a team, but players, they've got their own way of doing things, and how you put your hand around Opta Chabu, it means Nadim will be treated in a different manner because the characters are different. So Ata needs to develop. That's why I spoke about reinforcing the technical team with experienced players.
Do you think he's a good man manager, Spiu? Do you think he's a good man manager, player manager?
I think he's still new in the business. He still needs to develop that, because what if Urulane, no other, we're not comparing them, but I'm saying Urulane, what he has learned, the important part of man management, because football now is holistic. It's not just about tactical board. You need to understand the psychological element of the players, and obviously all these other dynamics. So Arthur needs to improve on the emotional intelligence and improve on the man management. Those are key, because if you want to win matches, players need to feel loved and be wanted.
So you agree that he's not experienced enough?
All right.
Continue experience with game is the best teacher.
Okay, sure.
Let's go to now. Thank you so much, Jimmy Macau. Let's go to Lisibe now. I did mention him a little bit earlier. Lisibe is out in the good lane. Eta.
Good evening to you, and good evening to the family. And congratulations to Pro Pilani. I'll take quickly. My respect. For me, I had soft spot for them until Faru, David and his chairman had those unfortunate ways. They had almost 30 games to play.
True.
Now they cannot come and try to play reverse psychology on other teams. It's unfortunate for me. Lastly, Andile, to my team, Nadim, you get experience and you learn from experience. So Asa needs to be given a chance. Ateta, nobody saw him competing or pushing this Man City until the last 3, 4, 5 games. So let's bear with one of our own and support him. And I still maintain that it's unfortunate that my fellow supporters threw an object at one of our own. He's one of our own. Let's support him, and our management as well. They need to cater the blame, because if you fire him, we are still going to hire someone that is still going. We are not going to be patient with in the next season. We will be taking one step further, 90 back.
Yeah.
Listen, I want you to listen to something. This is a clip of Arthur Zwane speaking about his experience, and of course going to the fans and speaking personally, Arthur Zwane directly to the fans of Kaizer Chiefs. Have a listen to this.
I've seen them, supporting the team through thick and thin. I've seen them supporting the team, even when things were not going our way. I know how they want things, to improve in the squad. We're also worried about the situation, because we thought we could make the situation better, even far better. But they are always on our thoughts. We always want to make them happy. And most definitely, the time will come when they'll be happy. And when they are happy and smiling like others, they will forget about days like this.
Well said, Andile, and without taking much of other people's time, you understand, I always say a supporter is someone who supports and lifts others up, not like a fan. A fan, when it blows hot and cold. So let us not be taken by air. I hope you understand.
I hope you understand. Thank you very much this evening. I appreciate it. Let's go to another Lapara. Richard. Oh, Richard's line there is bad. Let's go to Spusiso Zwane out in Benoni. Spoo. Ooh, the Lions are playing with us there, as they normally do. I mean, there's a lot of factors as well, load shedding included in different areas, and it becomes a mission to connect. But you can give us a call on 086-000-2160. Let's go to some of your WhatsApp voice notes and hear what it is that you've had to say. The guys are here to take your calls and to respond to anything that you might want them to. They spend every single day of their lives, the three that we have here, four including Opta, just doing this thing called football. I call them, because this is me. I think that they're the best at what they do. Have a listen.
Hello, Andy Lele team. I would like to disagree with the guest there. Chiefs and Pirates can compete when it comes to salaries. The only problem with Sundowns beat them is transfer fees. Other than that, there has paid player in the league plays for Chiefs. Thank you.
So, but
you know what? You can just pause that there quickly. You know what the thing is?
Yeah.
You know what the thing is? Is that, yes, most teams on a Skesha, you'll find Uguti, they've got three players that they're playing very high.
Yeah.
But to have 30, 40-man squad of highly paid players, that is where I think the challenge then becomes.
Every season, Andy, you look at your budget as a club. And your wage bill, obviously, when you're looking at unamali nesagin lako. So I think teams need to understand bona themselves as a club. For instance, so in the example, probably Jenge Swallows, they understand their budget and how they're gonna pay the players. And their recruitment, it's linked to the budget. We need to accommodate that because we want results, and the mandate to has to suit the players that we recruit. So sometimes doesn't always is not dynamics are higher. But Sundowns, there's a reason why wage bill it's so high, because of they want that dominance domestically and continentally. So they have to pay wage bill because they need to recruit or attract players that are quality players, and players that plays for national team. You need to pay. I'll not chance out here.
All right, let's go to voice notes because I want to go to Pretoria where Ronaldo as well as Tokola are waiting. So let's take two voice notes there, Malcolm.
So, but samgelo Proteatlen. The Sundowns. No, izosikhathaza kamampe. Izosikhathaza izoyenza iPSL ibhore.
Yini jive?
It's going to be like ukabona modla PlayStation, and then you are playing mode amateur. Amateur and uyashawushawa mat. 5-0. 4-0. Hlala kwina wena nje one way. So izosikhathaza man. Hayi.
Enda, this is Kuliso. Of course, we are listening to the number one sports show in the planet, which is Sports Night Amplified with Andile Ngube. Let me keep it short, straight, and simple. And I'm going to comment on the Kaizer Chiefs matter via our coach, Arthur Zwane. Arthur Zwane, yes, he did bad this season. Yet, good enough to be granted another chance for next season. I think so.
Thank you. Let's go to Pretoria. Ronaldo. Okay, Ronaldo's gone. Let's go to Tsukolo out in Bethlehem. Tsukolo.
How's it?
Hey, Keshapo, man. Talk to me.
Hey, Sharp brothers.
Oui.
Last time, Kileka Buad Atazwan, one of the station, radio station,
hey, that station is lucky they have him.
Ulukise attitude house. That guy, Hasoka Abanali, this kind of leadership. Hasoka Abanali ona. O Santan a short holoka leadership. Like Abuti Achulo Molore, as a player, Utamele Umutrite, like ising into Utamangala. How you usual as a coach? Utamelo utable each and every player. Give an about how treat about Katila over Tamelo Matriza. Can I'm just a attitude high top right. Look now, or we build a team. as a builder. How can you build a team scheme say one? Kanali Vuma, goalkeeper. This lady is the second to Melenkule. Our to Melenkule. But how about Mufa chance? Ubizi that is a goalkeeper A1. Lang era each and every weekend. How can you build a team that scheme each and every weekend? Even if Bagamofa chance at as one, Utantana Shotaka leadership, Asoka right, Kameleba Tolemoto, Atamuruta, or leadership in 21. Chiefs is going nowhere.
Thank you so much, Sukolo. Thank you so much, Sukolo out in Bethlehem. It's a first time caller. I know all the first time callers. Let's go to Ray now in Tbilisi. Ray.
Sure,
You're the last one, and you got Lisiba's time. 30 seconds. Go for it.
Sure, man. No, I was also saying no. The previous caller no said a mouthful, man. Lena negera asazano kare onale problem ya temper. So I think if I can look at some more, but then I don't think I also.
Based on what though? Based on what? Ray, what are you basing that on? What did you see that says another problem at temp?
One of the issue I'm fanolang over the defender. I don't think the young men Zwani. Also, Nanja Abafa that attitude like you made a mistake, you don't deserve to be in this team. Like Abafa that courage or a mistake in football. So I don't think now Saleh ready. I don't think we're ready for Chiefs. We must just let him go and then regeremo Tomongwe, according to my understanding. I don't think even if Rikamufa chance is going to do good because even the way Atlanta won against Pirates. How can you do a substitute last minute Ujiwa and all along? Because Pirates only won because of those three substitutions that they relay in the extra time.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming through, Ray, there, and all the contributors of the show. We really appreciate you. There's so much work that goes on to putting this show together, from Kwanza, from Munedim, from Opta Jabu, as well as Propilanda. We really do appreciate you guys engaging with us. You are what makes us number one, guys. I don't even have the time to say goodbye or to hand over, but up next is a team, a duo like what we are here, that make the music world tick. So from all of us here in Durban, Cape Town, as well as Johannesburg, thank you for being a part of the show. Next week, Friday, we get back to our GOAT conversation, which is the greatest of all time. Kudos to the guys in studio. When you look at the nominees for the best players in South Africa in every position, tell them where you heard it first, because it was right here on Metro FM. We're out.
Metro. The biggest commercial radio station in South Africa. We're